Hi and welcome back to the Family Business Show. My special guest is Tom Bromberger of Pelican Manufacturing. Tom, we were just chatting over the break a little bit about some of the challenges that you faced in the last 19 years of being with the family business. Do you want to elaborate on a couple of those challenges?
So one thing we mentioned was, to be taken seriously when you're the son or the daughter of the boss. So I guess you just prove that through hard work, dedication, and integrity, and they're things that I've always tried to do. We're a business where it's a very friendly atmosphere. We have disabled and elderly people coming and going, so there's a bit of interaction there. We're not a stuffy office. It's been good. So that's one of the challenges, to be taken seriously, and it's not hard to do it at our place. Would you like to know about some of our company challenges coming up?
Definitely.
Okay, so because we're a sewing company, sewing is a dying art. If we were sitting here 30 or 40 years ago, our wives would have probably made our clothes and they probably would have made the curtains. But that doesn't happen anymore because you can buy consumer products so cheaply. So, in the next hopefully next 20 or 30 years, if getting sewers is a problem, we might have to set up some sort of training program in-house to train them up to the spec that we need to make our products. So that's one of our challenges. I think we're probably the only company who makes products like ours in Australia. Everyone else is getting them made offshore and then bringing them back in Australia to sell. So we haven't done that yet. We want to employ Australian people in Australia. And our challenge is price there. So we have to be able to still make our products at a price that's competitive. Otherwise, the market's going to take over and we'll be without a business. So there are a couple of our challenges coming up. Obviously, another challenge in the family business is when mum and dad aren't here and I take over. That's going to have its own challenges, but we've prepared ourselves as much as we can. So I've got a lot of help through the Family Business Association here in Australia to help prepare all the documents that we need to have in place to make sure that we're going to overcome that step when it happens.
It is a challenge, the transition from generation to generation. This will be a first-time transition. So you've had great opportunity to talk with mum and dad about it. Has that been a challenge, the conversation?
The only challenge has been getting dad to sit down in the same place for more than 2 minutes without, pretending to do something else. But mum's been good at that, so she's very much, got him to talk when he needs to. Now that we've been doing or having those conversations for 5 or 6 or 7 years, it's quite easy now. So we have regular quarterly meetings to discuss management things, operational things, and succession things. So those conversations aren't hard now; they're easy.
Are they separate meetings for each of those three things?
They're not.
So it's one meeting. It's just the three of you.
Just the three of us.
Okay. And the brother who's not involved in the business, who's made his own career, does he get invited in at least, or does he have any perception that maybe one day there will be something that might come his way from the business?
I'm not sure. So a lot of the family wealth which has been generated has only been in the last 10 years, and his involvement was in the very early days, setting up some computers. But I think he's happy to have his own career.
Okay. And you get along well with your brother, it sounds like.
We're a family business, and there's hard things about families and businesses, but hopefully there'll be better times ahead.
Okay. All right. So getting back to the challenges, the competition is always going to be a challenge. Offshoring is a challenge. The trade of sewing, I was never aware that sewing is actually losing its trade skills. If somebody wanted to come to you, local from Perth, that wanted that was a sower, how would they approach you?
So when we need sowers, we just advertise in the local paper. Every now and then a sower will contact us out of the blue, and they're the kinds of people we actually really want to hear from. So they can just contact us anytime, really. And I can't promise that there's going to be a job there, but it's always good to know who they are.
Okay, great opportunity then.
One other thing I'll just mention. So we've got 2 customer service positions at work, and we employ ex-carers in those positions. And that's because they've been at nursing homes and at hospitals using our products as caring staff. So their customer service skills are excellent. So we, as much as possible, we try and use people who know our products or show that commitment to wanting to work.
Well, it's a great logic and a great idea to follow, because you're in a caring industry, you're looking after the end user in all cases. So I'm just kind of wondering, from a business point of view, your model is probably just to the end user by the sounds of it.
Well, it's not. So our products are designed to help the end user, a disabled person or elderly person, but just as equally we need to protect the carer. If you have an injured carer, well, not only do you have one less carer, but you've got one more injured person or disabled person possibly. So all of our products really help both people.
What a fantastic way of looking at it. You're looking after both the user of it and the end user of it.
That's right, yeah.
It's quite a wonderful opportunity. There's a little side story that we did chat about, which is about slings.
Yep.
So there's a challenge in that, isn't there?
There is. So patient lifting slings, a lot of the regulatory framework for patient lifting slings around the world has come across from construction industry, where they use slings on building sites. So there's certain things that have to be done with patient lifting slings which might be considered overkill, but that's the way it is. They're there for safety. We've seen slings which have been in use which should never have been in use, and the international standard and different regulatory bodies around the world are saying, look, we got to be on top of sling safety. So one of the requirements in the standard, the international standard, is that slings have to be inspected and an inspection record kept every 6 months or more often if recommended by the manufacturer. I've only found one manufacturer in Germany who says 3 months, all the others say 6 months. So we get a lot of repairs in for different products, including other companies' slings. So we see quite a few other companies' slings, and we're happy to repair them if we can do so safely. And I think we're now known as experts to do with sling safety. So we thought, all these customers of ours probably don't know that they should be doing these inspections. They might be doing them, but not recording them, because the standard for slings is about 200 pages, and I don't think our customers read it. I sort of see one of our roles as having to inform our customers of things like this, because we're a sling company. We should know. So if we know, then we've got to let our customers know. So that's what we do. So we put all of our knowledge together into an online platform, an app called Slingspector, which is basically a sling inspection app where you can do the inspections, take pictures, make notes, you get the reminders. So that was our idea, and it hasn't really gone as well as we hoped it would. Pelican recommends Slingspector for our slings, so that's saying, look, there's this program here you can use for sling safety, but you can use it for any brand of sling. So that's part of our commitment to safety to our customers.
How many slings would be operating in hospitals and aged care facilities in Australia?
As an example, so one of the large hospitals here in Perth has over 400 slings in use.
One hospital?
That's one hospital in one city.
Okay.
So these need to
thousands of them. And these have to be checked every 6 months?
Yep.
And a documentation process has to be taken on board.
And the only reason why they have to do this is because if there's an accident, then when there's an investigation, the coroner possibly will say, can you show me your inspection records? And I don't want our nursing home customers or hospital customers to say, show us the what? I want them to already know.
Well, that's a pretty big challenge, the way I see it, to have an industry that isn't necessarily aware of their regulatory requirements actually stepping up. And you've got a really simple app it's available. Anybody can download it.
That's right, yes.
So even if you're an individual and you've got a sling for your older parent at home, and that sling still has to be inspected.
Mm-hmm. That's right, especially for people like that who might not be as familiar with using slings as staff in a nursing home. You can get it for free. So if you're using a sling at home, you can use this for free. There's no charge. And the best thing about it, there's a couple of inspection videos in there which shows a real life human being, it's me, doing an inspection, uncut, unedited, with a few fumbles in there to say, look, this is about how long it should be taking you to inspect a sling. It's not 20 seconds and it's not 25 minutes. It's about 4 or 5 minutes. And, you know, if I'm lucky enough that I'm not having to care for my parents or a disabled son or daughter, 5 minutes every 6 months to look at a sling I think it's a good investment. Along with the 6 monthly inspection, all slings should be inspected visually before use, which is actually the more important inspection, because you could get a sling which gets damaged in the washing machine, comes back into use, and could have a tear in it or some stitching gone or
I'm all for safety, and I love to see my pilots of my aeroplane that I'm about to board look around the aircraft before I get on. That's that visual check. And you're saying the same applies to slings, so that's fantastic. Yep. We're going to take another break. Thank you for pointing out some of the challenges, and I highly recommend the app. So we'll come back shortly for some more with Tom.